we can see on Crystal's screen. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we will start this meeting by looking for a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from the November 9th meeting. Yes, you. Trustee Smith, and second?
Second.
Mark Crary. Any comments, questions, or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Can you hear me?
Yep. And Cindy? Cindy, I
Can you
can't.
hear me?
There you go. Yep. All right. And all opposed say no. All right, motion carries. At this point, we'll open it up for public comments. Are there any comments to be made?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, of course.
It's just a concern as fire
State your name.
Matt O'Brien.
Okay.
Also Speculator Fire Chief.
Yep.
Just heard through the grapevine about a water main break on Marion Ave.
Yes.
And just would have been nice to have known, because I'm not sure if those hydrants down Marion Ave are good or not. And right now I did take a look and there's water pouring, I think flowing into Lake Pleasant or Pleasant Lake Lodge basement right now.
That's the one on the border of Lake Pleasant.
No. That's Pleasant Lake Lodge, the old Graham's Hotel.
Graham's Hotel.
Okay. So that was checked earlier today, and Roger is checking it right after the meeting.
Yeah.
So we will modify. Then I suggest that we will modify calling to include the fire chief when there is a water main break.
Yeah, usually it does. It's just this one, I don't know, snuck out, but it was just concerning because I don't know, is there enough water going down that road? I don't know if he knows, but so would that mean that all those roads, all those houses down there are now,
at risk?
He said the tank is still filling up. It's not going down.
What?
It's not a major leak, so the tank is keeping its level, actually going higher. So the
Okay.
be all good. I believe.
Right. Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe.
Yeah.
I won't hold you to it, Roger. It's not your department anyway.
Yeah, no, that's what Ed had told me this evening, because he learned about the leak by the time he got home.
Okay.
So he had said that the tank was filling, that it was pumping appropriately, and that they would fix it in the morning. Fixing it in the evening, they would have to shut down the water because they weren't able to isolate the leak. It would shut down a major portion of the village. So they opted to wait till the morning.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment section and we'll open the public hearing on proposed changes to water and sewer rates. A special meeting was held on October 28th to address the issue of the significantly reduced water and sewer receipts due to COVID-19 pandemic, which began in early March and severely impacted our area with respect to business closings, school closings, restaurant, camp, and resort closures. This resulted in a decrease in revenues of approximately 17% to date. Given that the water and sewer receipts have to cover the costs of operations, the Board of Trustees held a special meeting to discuss different options on October 28th. So after a lengthy discussion and a review of the way other small municipalities do their billing, the board agreed that we would include a minimum usage charge for 1,000 gallons per month for both water and sewer, as this would be most equitable across users to ensure that we can keep the plant running. 1,000 gallons per month or 3,000 gallons per quarter was estimated as a usage for a single person. Minimum usage charges will be assessed for every meter So for those properties that have 2 meters, there would be minimum requirements for each. The water and sewer usage rates would remain the same as they have been since August of 2013. In addition, the planned water and sewer base rate increases announced and passed in 2019 would remain in place. So there are no changes to that. So now we'll open up the meeting to any comments from the public. Public? Okay. Matt, you have a comment as a public person? Okay.
I sitting in the pump house right now. I have a meter over here that I have not touched in 8 years. So now I'm going to be charged 1,000 gallons, which I think is like $10 on top of my 92 for the water, something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll go through the specifics of that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's being equitably distributed across all meters.
Okay.
And you know, the difficult part is water pays for water, sewer pays for sewer, and we're stuck.
Stuck on Marion Ave.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So at this time, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a
So moved.
motion? Okay. Mark and, oh, was that Cindy or was that
Rebecca.
Rebecca? Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, hearing is closed. I would like to share the resolution, and now I have to figure out which one it is. I think it's this one. Okay, is that the correct resolution? Do I?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Is the right one? Okay, because I certainly am not. I have too many, too many things open. So as you can see, I can see, there it is, okay. So as you can see, okay, let me just make that a little bit bigger. So this is a resolution to pass for the minimum usage fee of 3,000 gallons of water per quarter for each of the water and wastewater systems. So the amount that is being added is $15.30 per quarter for water and $24 per quarter for sewer.
So,
And this is actually 3,000. Let me correct that. So this is 8,000. I'm sorry. So it's $5 per 1,000 gallons of water per quarter, and this is $1,000 per.
No, it's per quarter. It's 3,000 gallons of water per quarter.
Yep. So whereas the minimum usage will be charged at the current rates of $5 per 1,000 gallons for water. So I'll take, I wanted to include the charges per quarter in the resolution. So $15.30 per quarter and $8 per $1,000 per 1,000 gallons per month. This is for water. This is 24 per quarter. And noting that the usage fees have not increased. This is based on an estimated usage for one person. The base rates remain at $88 per quarter for water, $107 per quarter for sewer, and the next scheduled increase will be in 2021. This increase in minimum usage will be put into effect for the February 1st, 2021 billing cycle. And of course, any usage over $3,000 will be charged at the regular rate of $5.10 per 1,000 gallons of water and $8 per 1,000 gallons of wastewater. So may I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Mark.
Mark Doniker, second.
Cindy.
Cindy Rumsey. Are there any questions or comments or clarifications or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Okay, motion carries. All right. All right, so next on my list, if I can find it with all this. Okay. All right. Roger,
Yes.
your report, sir. I do not have a copy of it.
Okay, last 30-day activities, we set up the skating rink. We cleaned a few ditches, not a lot. Shoulder work, we did a little bit of shoulder work. We picked up benches and tables, garbage cans, etc. We hauled the rest of our winter sand, garbage and recyclables always. We put crusher run on the pit road, put 3 loads on there, and we spread it out and fixed some of the potholes that looks pretty good. We're constantly working on the dirt section of Elm Lake Road, making sure that it's good for the log trucks. And we fixed a few potholes, but we run out of coal patch, so we're done doing that until we can get some more. The next 30 days, plow and sand is needed. We got to dress our big truck. Our little truck's all dressed. Our big truck, we just got back from Utica Mac with a broken spring. We got to put the plow on that and the sander. We also are cleaning out ditches anytime we get a chance, and shoulder work anytime we get a chance. The garbage and recyclables, flood skating rink, blow sidewalk as needed. Work on Elm Lake Road dirt section. Hauling item 4, and that's for the beach parking lot, which is the last thing. We're going to be working on that as soon as I figure out where we're going to get all the funds for that.
Okay.
Okay, in the next 60 days is roadside ditching, plowing and sanding, shoulder work, working on lake. Low sidewalks, garbage recyclables, flood skating rink, clean ditches, got hanging brush on the road when snow bends them over, and whatever. And our chips is the same as before. We paved the back there run. We've hauled our item 4 in. I have to haul it a little bit more, but that won't go under chips. Haven't ordered any culverts. We're still pretty set on culverts, so until I decide where they're going to go, I'm not going to order any. The new truck has been ordered. Dump truck came in July, and we paved the sidewalks.
Okay. So all of your chip submissions have been made, or when are you going to submit for reimbursement?
Everything but the new truck. I haven't got the new truck or the bill for that, but everything else has been submitted.
Okay. And we had talked about the last time you came before the board about the parking lot down by the pavilion, about any plans and costings. How is that going?
I'm figuring $3,500 to $5,000. We have to pull out a little bit of there was a strip of pavement that the paving company put in to pave that a little bit more after we had paved Elliott Lane. We had extra pavement, and it really messed it up because it made it so that the water can't even. So we're going to tear up that piece of pavement, and then we're going to fill in the potholes and raise up the side closest to the pavement and angle it toward the river, so everything will flow and run off toward the river. Knock on wood.
And when will you start that?
Hopefully next week. This is a short week this week.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get started on that. If we don't get a lot of snow or whatever, I'll put the wrench in the.
Okay. Would you update your report to reflect that, please?
Yes.
Okay. Terrific.
Roger,
How'd you make out with the backhoe, Roger?
What's that?
How'd you make out with the
That's
backhoe?
been repaired. We've been using it. I haven't got a bill yet. I called down there today and they said that they would be sending one. I'm assuming that it'll be coming here soon, so I really don't know the final price yet, but it's gonna be right around what we're figuring because the pump itself was $7,800 or something like that and change. And then they had to drive up and the time that they was working here, so it's gonna be right around that $10,000 we were talking.
just one question, Roger. I was looking through emails. Did you send in an inventory report to Crystal?
Not that I'm aware of. An inventory report on all of our equipment, or just the trucks?
No, just, I guess all the equipment, right, Crystal, is what you were looking for?
Well, I mean, I know, are you talking like wrenches, I mean, just the big stuff, or?
Normally, everything you have, including hand tools, things like that. There should be a list of equipment.
I haven't even made a list of that. I can start doing that.
Great.
Yeah, that would be good.
I just assumed it was the big stuff. I didn't know you meant like the wrenches and screw guns and stuff like that, but I can do that.
Yeah, it all should be on an inventory list.
Okay.
And how are you set for PPE as far as masks and wipes and towels and sprays and things like that?
Wipes, masks, and sanitizer. I mean, I bought quite a bit of extra. We got stuff there. We use it in the bathrooms quite often, and we go through it fairly quick, but I do have some there.
Okay, because as we'll go through later, for the FEMA COVID, I need to understand how much we have stockpiled as well.
Okay, I can make a list of that too.
Okay, great. That'd be fine. All right. If there are no further questions on that regard, Mark Doniker, Trustee Doniker.
I think Trustee Smith had a question.
Oh, Trustee Smith, yes.
Just have one question for Roger.
Sure.
Roger, I noticed that the lights that are kind of like lantern lights, if you're heading north into town, on the right-hand side, there's a couple that stay on all day. And then the next set, there's a couple that stay on the left.
Yeah, we've got
Did you notice that?
checked. I'm gonna have to have Gary check some of the electric eyes on them. Because obviously some of them are working or aren't working because they're keeping the lights off, and some aren't working and keeping the lights on, so.
Right. And then there was a light as you go by camp and go up that road just to the left. That one was off, but CL says some of these lights he notices when he's plowing will go off, 3 in the morning, and then he comes back through and they're back on. Are they on like a sensing heat kind of thing?
So I'm not sure, but when I do my list, I'm supposed to write down if it's an on-off problem or if it's just off completely, but I haven't really been worried about them because I thought they were changing all the heads, so I wasn't gonna have them fix those few that are out. There's like 5 out right now.
Yeah, they will be
Okay, so
changing.
you're aware of them anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I check them, usually in the morning when it's dark, I run around and check, write down what ones are out, but the mayor said that they're gonna be changing those heads, so I figured that those heads even turning them in.
Well, I think we should keep a list. Still
Yeah,
turn them in because we should be getting some credit, I would think.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if they're out, the meter's not spinning, I'm assuming, so I'm assuming we don't get charged for them when they're out, but I don't know that for a fact. I don't know
Yeah,
how,
we can at least give a list.
right.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so now we're going to Trustee Doniker and Roger. Do you want to go through this?
No, I think the only thing I did was try to make it clearer because the other document was all over the place.
Yep.
The question is here, we do 60% of our labor force is used during the summer for garbage. I would like to reduce that so Roger can do other things and keep the garbage pickup on Mondays only instead of Mondays and Thursdays, and recyclables second and fourth Tuesday of each month. And did the collection schedule. My question is the garbage and recycling pickups, Roger really has to give me some information on that and what does Roger think? But everything else is just kind of cleaned up from the PDF I had to make it clearer what's required.
About it.
What is that, Roger?
I only have a few questions about the list.
Yep, okay.
The summer garbage Monday and Thursday, I think if we only do it Mondays, we're gonna have a major problem on our hands with bears, and because It takes us all day on Friday or Monday and all day on Thursday. So if all that garbage is combined into one, and we're not gonna get it all done in one day. If we just do it on Mondays. Because it's gonna be double the amount for Monday.
So Roger, when you do residential pickup on Monday, you know, twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, how many man hours does that take?
That's 2 guys, 8 hours each day.
So it is a full 8 hours.
Thursdays, sometimes they get done a little bit earlier because the Thursday pickup's usually smaller. But as a general rule, it's 8 hours each day.
Okay.
Then we go out Friday morning and do a few dumpsters and do Deerfoot Lodge. And then we do Deerfoot Lodge Tuesday mornings because we don't have time to get Deerfoot Lodge in there during the regular pickup because then we don't have time to get all the way around the village.
Is that considered commercial, Deerfoot Lodge?
Yes.
Yeah, those I want your input. I didn't think we were going to change those.
So is that right, Roger? I don't know if you can see that. So commercial garbage.
Well, what I'm saying is the residential in the summer, I think probably is gonna have to be picked up twice too, because it takes us all day for Monday and all day, almost all day Thursday, so there's no way we'd get that whole week's worth of garbage picked in one day.
And what would be from what date to what date? Is it from
We do it
Memorial Day through Labor Day?
June to September in the summer. And then
Okay, so June,
the rest of the month is just Monday, and then Monday or Friday for businesses. Monday and Friday for businesses.
and is it the end of September, Roger, or can we stop it at the 1st of September, you know, Labor Day?
We probably could stop it at Labor Day. I mean, we always went to the end of September because there's still people around and still the bear problem. I mean, that's a call that you can make and see what happens. I don't know. I mean, we just always went to the end of September. I don't know why we picked that date, but that's what we did.
Well, Roger, if they only put their garbage out at 7 a.m. in the morning, if the bears get into it, isn't it the residents' issue to deal with that?
Well, it is, but some people put it out and then leave Speculator. So then there's that mess there until they come back up, whether it's a week or 2 weeks. I mean, that mess is just there. So, I mean, it just makes a, you know, an awful mess for the village for it to be just laying around, and I don't like to have it lay around, so.
Okay, so we just have to, residential garbage pickup is Monday from X to X, and Monday and Thursday from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Right.
Right, okay. So we'll fix this up.
Can we do recycling just the 2nd and 4th Tuesday?
Yeah, can we, yeah, that's what.
We probably could, but then we're gonna be running into the same issue. I mean, we get a lot of recycling during the summer. I mean, they usually make 3 loads every time they pick. So that's why we do it every Tuesday. So now if we do it every other Tuesday, they're gonna probably, as a general, have 5 to 6 trips to dump one day. Whether they have time to get that all done, I don't know.
I get it.
You want to try it and see what happens?
That's your guys, that's up to you. I mean, I would love that we could do them just one day each so that we had more manpower to do other stuff. That would be great, but.
Well, I
All right, let's do that and then see what happens.
Okay,
Yeah, we certainly have to figure out something, and we can't, I mean, I would think that most of the recycles are the bottles and the cans, and so we can encourage them to donate it to Speculator Volunteer Ambulance.
well, we usually as a general don't get a lot of the returnables. I mean, there's a few people that do, but for the most part, it's just glass, plastic, and cans and cardboard and newspaper.
Okay, so then let's try it the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month throughout the system, and then we'll evaluate after 1 month. How's that?
Yeah.
How are we gonna notify the residents of the change?
Flyers.
Maybe on that flyer, we could encourage people to village the town landfill if they have an overburden.
Yeah.
Correct.
Uh,
As you
and
can see, that's what I was trying to do, as much as possible, have them responsible for their garbage and their, you know, other things.
So Roger, with the commercial, for the commercial trash, I know that there are some folks who call for additional pickup, especially this year. So I know that I got several calls from Charlie Johns. So is it the second, is it Tuesday and Thursday, or is it Tuesday and Friday for commercial pickup?
We pick them up Monday and Thursday normally. And then since they're going out to Deerfoot Lodge on Tuesday and Friday, they pick them up on Tuesday and Friday also. That way it keeps his dumpster empty, because that's a big dumpster that fills up fast.
Okay, so Deerfoot is Tuesday and Thursday.
Yes,
Thursday and
Tuesday and Friday, I'm sorry. The day after our regular.
Tuesday and Friday. Okay.
That was the reason why we had it. Years ago, we always picked the garbage Monday and Friday. We had to switch it to Tuesday or Thursday because we didn't have time to get into Deerfoot Lodge.
Okay. So that's just a quick.
The other way around actually, but we just didn't.
And recycling, commercial recycling, you picked that up at the same time, or?
Yep, Monday and Thursday.
And is that all year long?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so as we go through this, we're trying to think how we can cut down the amount of labor that we're spending on garbage and pickup so that we can do the other projects.
Right.
So there are other ways to do that. Holiday garbage collection, that pretty much stays the same. And
Yeah.
then, cleanup- say that again?
I said I looked through the calendar and those all look good, those dates.
Okay, and the cleanup days are consistent with those with Lake Pleasant? And then we just have guidance and
And
recycling.
My last question is the guidelines where it says we don't go down the private roads. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, because I know we do go around Camp Maryland and there's a lot of houses in there. If we don't go down there, I don't know if they're gonna have to have a dumpster up front or if they're gonna haul all their garbage up.
Like for example, do you go down Edgemont?
Yes,
That's a private road, so,
and we go down Camp Maryland, which is a private road. Camp Maryland and Charlie Brown Lane.
Pearson Lane.
I believe those are the only ones.
Pearson Lane is private as well?
Pearson, we don't go around Pearson Lane. That's the town.
Oh, that's town, okay.
You mean where the Route 66 goes, you mean, right?
Is Cubs Cove private or public?
Cubs Cove driveway, no. That they all bring that out to the edge of the road.
Okay,
think
and I
they
know
should-
you go down Bearhurst in the spring. So I understand your point, Mark, about being, on private roads. So even going down Elliott past, what is her name? Morrison's.
All right,
Oh,
You
Yeah,
know,
in
you go.
that case, we own the road now, we
Yeah,
own the road. So
So we
that's not-
own it up to the former Cravens property. So the Phil Howers that live behind there would bring their trash up to that line.
I believe they do, we never had an issue.
Okay.
I believe they bring it up to either to the Morrison residence or to the Craven residence or
Okay.
what it is now.
So the two private roads that we do is Camp Maryland and Edgemont. Is that it? Is White Rock Trail public or private?
Thank you, Bob.
You named a few, 1 or 2.
you go up, nope,
Maryland is the big one. We go down Edmont, then all the roads into Whitaker Lake, I don't know if they're private or what they are, but we pick them too in the summer.
Novasil Way, you go the mountain road.
Yes, we go up the Oak Mountain, yes.
So I'm just wondering if has to be some sort of a agreement, to cover the village's liability going up those roads.
That may be there, maybe, there probably should be in case something happens, I would think, but
Yeah, this all started with Bearhurst,
Correct,
the damage.
right.
But are Bearhurst gonna bring it out to the road this year?
No, we stopped picking up October 1st. We just don't pick it up. And so that's the point that we want to make with some of these roads. They get so wet in the spring that
Right.
our garbage trucks just get stuck and destroy the roads. And then we get, it falls on us to do that. So, so let's explore that with Katie and some of our private road holders like Oak Mountain and,
I'll run around and make sure that there isn't any other private roads that we can add to that list. I don't believe there is, but there could be.
okay, all right. And to note what roads get really wet in the spring, because if they're really wet in the spring, then people need to bring it out during a certain amount of time to the road
Right.
that, all right. And then the recyclable, and these are all the same. So, and the main reason why we have a separate schedule now is that we used to do it with the village and it would get very confusing. So at least this way, it'll be on our website. It'll be straightforward and clear. There's no mix up with what's going on in the town. And then we'll have it posted and available in the post office and the Speculator Emporium, Lane Emporium, etc. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I don't think we need to vote on that. Do we?
No, I think we just,
See how. it
need
goes.
clarification for the residents of the community.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. So now let's turn to Crystal O'Brien and the clerk treasurer report. Crystal?
All right, just a few things. The accounting principles and procedures school that I took last week. There was a lot of information on the proper policy.
Thank you, Roger.
On the proper policy and procedures for revenues and receivables, expenditures, purchases, and claims processing, reserve funds, capital projects, capital assets, and fiduciary funds. I will be making a few adjustments on the way that we kind of do some internal procedures now. Just some tweaks. We were right on track really with what the standards are. One big change though is something that just currently happened because of a update that GASB did to the accounting and financial reporting for fiduciary activities. So originally with our payroll, it went through our trust and agency account, which is TA. TA will no longer be TA codes will no longer be available. They're going to be discontinued. They're going to be called custodial codes. And they would like them all to come out of the general operating funds. Currently payroll does come out of all the operating funds and it is consolidated into our TA 10, which is consolidated payroll. That'll now change. There's different codes for that now, since TA won't be we won't be able to report with that anymore. Luckily, we have 8 months before we really have to worry about the reporting part of it for the state, and that gives us a lot of time to switch over. And really, it's just the accounting side. Nothing else has to change on our part besides what I do for the payroll accounting. So I am trying to set up a time with Ted to finish our accounting adjustments from when we finished the AUD, and hopefully he's been a really good help with anything accounting that we need to change or fix or whatnot. So hopefully he'll have some good insight on how we can easily transition into that. With the, moving on with the new spikes in our area, we are putting up new signs for the office and sort of going back to our 9 to 1 hours.
COVID spikes you're referring to.
Yeah, COVID spikes, that's what I'm referring to, sorry. We've been keeping the hours of 9 to 1, but if we're here, we stay open. Now I think we'll go back to locking the door at 1 o'clock, and then if anybody comes, they can knock on the door if they'd like, if they need to come in. We're also taking temperatures, and that's pretty much about it. Taking temperatures and keeping track and stuff like that.
And they're doing that at the other facilities as well, the DPW and the wastewater. You've provided thermometers.
Yeah, correct. And then
I have a question. Do they have a COVID questionnaire that they fill out daily?
they have a log sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they have symptoms, that gets recorded.
Yeah. It's pretty much just the kind of rudimentary pass or fail thing. So if they don't
Right.
have any symptoms or any fever, then they just check pass. If they,
Okay.
hopefully if they do have any symptoms or a fever, they're not coming in at all.
They're
So.
there. Right.
I shouldn't know.
One could hope. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last couple of things, or actually the last thing is the village office will be closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving, and will just only be open Wednesday from 9 to 1. So.
Okay. Good. Any questions for Crystal? You and Tracy are doing a great job keeping the office running and keeping things going. So much appreciated in these crazy times. And thank you for the update in the financial report, looking now at revenues, providing revenue, income. I think that's been very helpful as well. So thank you for
I
that.
think, I don't know if Cindy got,
I did.
saw that or not. But yeah, it's just a kind of a cumulative look at where we are as at the end of that month. So.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I have the report, financial report and the abstract numbers correct. So I'd like thank you. I would like a motion to approve financial report number 5.
So moved.
So
Okay,
moved.
And Mark, any questions, comments, or corrections? Hearing none. Motion to approve financial report number 5, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Aye.
say no. Okay, we can approve the financial report. And then a motion to pay the bills in abstract 12.
So moved.
Second?
Mark Crary and Mark Doniker. Any questions, comments? Nope. Okay, hearing none. All in favor to pay abstract number 12, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Motion carries. All right, old business. So let me share with you a little picture. And we'll do that. Okay, I can't do, whoops. I'm sorry, I can't do both. I don't know how this works. I have my notes, sorry. So, if you'll see on the big blue screen in front of you, and as you've listened to the news, as with other areas in New York State and around the country and around the world, we are seeing an uptick in the number of new COVID cases. 2 weeks ago today, Hamilton County had reported 22 positive cases since the COVID outbreak started. And these were primarily linked to individuals who were infected in other areas of the state or country and then returning home to Hamilton County, isolating and not spreading it within their community. So I believe that our individuals in Speculator have been careful and have concern for others, and this has had a direct impact on limiting the transmission of COVID in our community, besides the fact that we are so remote. We've also been extremely fortunate that our summer visitors exercised comparable care during their stay in our area of the Adirondacks. And so we really didn't have a rise in cases during our summer and autumn months. However, within the last 2 weeks, we have 20 new cases, so we've nearly doubled in the last 2 weeks, bringing the total number of COVID cases to 42. We have to take action to limit the spread of this infection in our community by wearing masks, washing hands frequently, practicing appropriate social distancing. Speculator, as we know, has more than our fair share of high-risk residents. So there's particular concern during the upcoming holiday season that we need to encourage our community, friends, and family to exercise due caution. And the flip side, it's also important for us to maintain human connections in our community, not only for physical health, but to help maintain emotional and mental well-being. As you know, our winters can be extremely isolating, and I would encourage us and the public to reach out to friends, families, neighbors to make sure that they're okay, and to also be aware of your health and those close to you. Seek medical attention if you're experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19 infection. And to beat that dead horse, these include fever, loss of taste, dry cough, fatigue, chills. We are in this for the long haul. Another important point to note that as of 1:30 today, Bill Farber, the chief executive of Hamilton County, issued an emergency order closing the county clerk's office to the public effective 5 o'clock today. And this was done out of the abundance of caution due to the potential that staff members have been exposed to COVID. So they're doing this to limit the spread and exposure to the public. So at this time, the village office hours remain restricted from 9 to 1. All who enter are required to wear masks, use hand sanitizer, and have their temperature checked. People are encouraged to leave bills in the box outside. We don't believe the additional precautions or closures are needed at this current time, but obviously willing to entertain suggestions. So far, none of us working in the office have been exposed or in close contact with people who have COVID.
That you know of.
That we know of. Yes, thank you for that qualification, as always. I did get tested last Monday and I'm negative. So these are the numbers that we have here. At present, we have 32 people under quarantine, 12 are in isolation, 2 are currently hospitalized. 2 are hospitalized, which is never a good thing. The number of positive tests to date is 42. The number that have recovered to date are 28, so you can do the math. And we have no additional fatalities in Hamilton County. Does anyone have any questions on this particular graphic? And I've been sending those out regularly now. And those are being distributed not only to you as trustees to keep you up to date, distributing it to emergency services. So Matt O'Brien with the fire department, the Speculator Volunteer Ambulance Corps, major businesses, so Charlie John's, Chamber of Commerce, Camp of the Woods gets notified. And then I've also included those groups that have gatherings. So the Catholic Church, the Episcopal Church, the Methodist Church, North Country, and then I've actually reached out of our zone to Adirondack Bible Chapel to keep them informed as well. And this information is free to the public, so feel free to distribute that as needed. Anybody have any questions on this? Some people ask why we don't know what towns people are in. I mean, there's obviously the grapevine that is pretty fast, sometimes accurate, sometimes inaccurate. The reason that we were told that Hamilton County does not disclose the actual towns as other counties do is due to our remote and rural nature, and that towns are so small that they have opted to not say which towns are affected unless there are more than 6 or 7 people at a time affected in that particular town. So I've been notified of at least 4 cases in Speculator, and those patients are still quarantined and improving with therapy or with treatment. So with that said, trying to encourage people to come out and get tested. If you think you've been exposed, if you think you might have been exposed, if you're not feeling well, here's an opportunity. Monday in the morning and in the evening in Indian Lake at the Department of Public Health. Again, on Tuesday, Department of Public Health in the morning, there's Inlet, but there's also Wells. Wells is added to this list. So it's also Lake Pleasant Fire Department, and Wells has been added to the list, I think, from 2 to 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So please call Department of Public Health to register for these clinics. All right, I have overwhelmed you with that. All right. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Oops. Okay. So going on with old business, nothing really to report with FEMA Halloween storm. Hard to believe that that was over a year ago. COVID updates, FEMA COVID updates, we're still progressing with that. Small cell, we should see at the first of the new year. Fire tower, we are beginning to collect our information for our APA application. All the photographs are done as a requirement of the APA, and I want to publicly thank Brian Bledsoe for that, as well as our fine volunteer fire department for hoisting the ladder and allowing us to take those pictures to get that moving. Anyone and everyone who'd like to participate with fire tower fundraising should see Ryan Marshall, who's heading up that effort. LED streetlights, we are still awaiting an invoice from National Grid. So now I have resorted, since it's been well over a week and a half, I've now resorted to calling or emailing National Grid every other day until we get an invoice. No prompting. And then the septic system erosion regulations, as you know, we mentioned that in early September. The town asked that we wait until their budget cycle was complete. That was finished last Monday. That was voted on. So the kickoff meeting will take place this Tuesday with representatives from the village, the town, consisting of Betsy Bain and Neil McGovern, and then Bob Benkovich as the building inspector. And then Trustee Rumsey and I will knock out the requirement for the COVID procedures now that she is back in town. So welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. So the first resolution that I'd like to talk about under new business is record retention and disposition. A resolution brought forward by Trustee Carreri. And let's see where that is, record retention. So Mark, do you want to give an introduction on this?
Recently, the state of New York has provided for all governmental entities the process of retaining records or disposing of records. So it's an all-encompassing kind of deal now. So, like I said, it's all-encompassing. So it's a matter of going through a 300-page document, looking at your particular section, whether you're a village or a town, different types of records involved, what you should do with records that you feel are outdated. Some are, some aren't. So it's a well put together roadmap, so to speak. And it's good that the village and hopefully the town and other local governments will get on board as required by the first of the year. So we're going to set up working with Crystal, we'll have a records retention file cabinet or file folder, which will house the specific document, LGS-1, some indexes, a copy of the resolution. So we're on board to have that up in place by the first of the year.
Terrific.
And we have a room full of either throw it away or archiving. Crystal has suggested, and we're looking into maybe microfiching or digitizing some of our old records to eliminate the physical storage space. So
That'd be great.
So that's going to go along with this also.
Good.
So all in all, the state has put together a good plan, I believe. And like I said, it covers everything from soup to nuts. Whether you have a picture, you have an old resolution, you have an 1850 document you want to for historical purposes. So it's good.
Okay, great. All right, may I have a motion to approve Resolution 2020-2021 record retention and disposition?
So
So
moved.
move. Second.
Okay, so Mark and Cindy, any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor of passing this resolution, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Okay. Next on the list, we've taken care of garbage and recyclables. Now revisions to water and sewer local laws. So Trustee Doniker and Trustee Smith, do you want me to put those laws up or do you want to speak to them?
Yeah, you can put one law up at a time.
Okay,
And can you scroll down to the changes?
of course, of course. Let me see if I can do that. So this is Acrobat, and this is, let me do this. So this is local law number 2, sewer use and operations. Do you know about what page it's on? It's in the
I
40s.
think if you click on
You just,
comment,
It was
On
at the
the right there.
There. Anything before that? Yeah, okay, great. Does that work for you?
that works for me. Can you, basically we just deleted this entire section and based on what we're doing now for the water department and sewer department.
Okay. So it should be noted that the laws had indicated also that we were doing billing semi-annually, and when in fact we've actually been doing quarterly collection for quite some time. So we're updating the law to reflect that. Right, so this would be changed to the billing period.
Should be quarterly.
Right. So, shall be, billing shall be,
Yeah, the comment's already there for Crystal to insert, so I don't think you need to put anything in.
yep. Yeah, it just said, oh, insert quarterly, sorry. Okay. All right. And I think that's it. Oh, in here.
Yeah, we changed this from a recognized independent certified public accountant to basically the village board, but you can see the comment.
Yep. If I could, there. The village clerk, superintendent of wastewater in the village. Okay. And then conduct in conjunction with the audit. Yep. So this is in conjunction with the audit. There will be an annual review of sewer charges to the system to determine if it is adequate to meet expenditures for all programs for the coming year. I think that's excellent because we have not really been doing that.
Yeah, we just want to bring it back into us instead of an independent order. We don't need the expenditures.
Good. Any comments or questions from the rest of the board?
I just think there was one other place where it said semi-annually and we did quarterly, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so that will be a global change.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So may I have a motion to accept these changes and put those out for a public hearing to be held on December 14th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
So I need to do a resolution with these changes, correct?
We'll do a resolution with the changes in time for the next board meeting.
Okay.
Right, for those laws. And what we'll have is the laws will be, the corrections and highlights to the laws will be made and made available to the public for public hearing. All right, so the same for, same for local law number 3, and this is for water. This is not as
I
lengthy.
think that the two changes were quarterly.
Yep. Okay. So water
Okay.
shall be charged to all consumers of water as herein defined in accordance with the rate schedule established quarterly. Okay. And then the other is here. Bills for metered water shall be payable quarterly.
And then we'll need to put in the language from the other resolution.
Yes,
On both water and wastewater. We'll need those changes.
correct. Okay, may I have a motion to accept the revisions to local law number 3 of 2019 regulating the water district to update it to include quarterly billing?
So moved.
Okay, Mark, second?
Second.
Cindy?
Yep.
Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. May I have a motion to hold a public meeting and post a legal notice for these laws to be held on December 14th?
So moved.
Rebecca, and second by Mark Doniker. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Okay, motion carries. Close all tabs. All right. Let's see. Okay, good. Any other, does anyone else have any other new business? No? Okay, for roundtable, I did get in touch with LOSAP. This is the longtime service award for the volunteer fire department. We are in the process of changing over the program from a defined benefit to a defined contribution. I am working with Ryan Marshall to ensure that members having earned their requisite number of points for this benefit are captured in the tallies and that the transition goes over smoothly, and the appropriate donations of $700 per year per member who meets those requirements will be added accordingly. Hazard mitigation update. This is something I hold near and dear to my heart, so I'm personally hurt by this. As stated in our last meeting, the county had really pulled out all stops to post a preliminary hazard mitigation plan for a 30-day public review which was required for the BRIC grant application that we had received a thumbs up on for progressing with a grant for the wastewater treatment generator. Unfortunately, this was actually rejected by the New York State Department of Homeland Security. And so for me, this was a big disappointment. So at this time, we are unable to pursue this grant, but we'll be able to apply next year in the fall. So in the meantime, we continue to support the efforts of ensuring that the hazard mitigation plans are in place for the village and encourage our surrounding townships and county to make sure that the hazard mitigation plan does get posted, approved, and reviewed.
Mayor, did Roger and Ed provide the answers that were
They
sent
did.
out? Great.
Yes, they did. So we are all up to date with all requested information for the village plan, and that has been submitted to Shannon Thackeray. So we are all up to date there. And the last point was raised by Fire Chief O'Brien regarding the water main break at Marion Avenue. There was a water main break reported earlier. They will be addressing it during daylight hours. The situation has been reported to Hamilton County Dispatch. We did miss the fire department, but we'll make every effort to do that in the future. And we are having Roger and Wayne check that to make sure that things are stable going into this evening. Does anyone else have any issues to raise or anything to bring to the round table?
No.
All right. I would like to raise one point, and that's my last point of the evening. And that is, we have a meeting scheduled for December 28th. Traditionally, the last meeting of the year has been postponed. And I wanted to know if, yes, Crystal?
So in past years, it's been postponed because it fell right around Christmas.
Yep.
Right before or right on Christmas.
Right. So this is the day after Christmas. I mean, the day after Christmas weekend.
Yeah.
No problem with me.
What, postponing it or keeping it?
Canceling it. I'm sorry. So
No, I'd like to keep it if we could.
you'd like to keep it? Okay. And I think with Zoom, I think it makes it that much easier to comply than before when everybody had to be in the same place.
My only comment about last year getting all of the bills just in the beginning, you know, there was some that had to be either missed or approved separately for, you know, to get them paid on time at the end of the month. So that it'd be nice.
Point well taken. Okay. So, excuse me, choking on my water. So we will leave that meeting in place. No meetings will be canceled, and we will see you next time on December 14th. And Crystal, remind me, the planning board meeting will not take place at the end of November. It will take place on the 15th of December.
Yeah, so far everybody is okay with having it on the 15th because the planning board meeting would fall 2 days before Christmas, so.
And are there any agenda items for the planning board identified yet?
Not that I'm aware, but the zoning officer was contacted for the meeting, so I don't have any specifics yet though.
Okay, sounds good. So if there are no further comments or agenda items, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, Mark Crary, seconded by Rebecca. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, have a good meeting. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.